I live and work in Spain, making roughly 1,000 euros a month, which in America is nothing, but in Spain is more than enough to live. I only work 16 hours a week, and I'm able to afford a super nice apartment in the city center of Madrid. Food costs me 20 euros a week. My electric bill is like 30 euros a month. I don't have to worry about gas or a car payment or insurance because the public transportation system is so world class that you don't even need a car at all. Madrid is like the New York of Spain, except if you were living in the city center of New York, you'd have to be making literally at least $5,000 a month, and that's extremely lowballing it. Just their way of life in general, like, is so much more relaxed and just taking time to enjoy life rather than just working constantly. They literally have a siesta in the middle of the day where they take 3 hours to go nap or go to a coffee shop to hang out with friends. Like, the American mind cannot fathom. It's just crazy to me because, like, you've been told growing up your whole life that America is the best country in the world. That's just so far from the truth. And it's like very obvious how much worse it is now that I've gotten out.
So we live in China and we're headed to the dentist to get our teeth cleaned for $16 US. That is the cost of a Chick-fil-A spicy deluxe, large fry and a lemonade on the side. I'm baffled, but let's get it.
That is designed to make ordinary people's lives better. You may be shocked. You may be asking how it could be more effective. Well, for one thing, in China, the rich people don't dictate government policies, unlike in some other countries. I will repeat it. The rich people, whether it's billionaires, CEOs of super successful companies in China, they are not allowed to bend the government policies to make it easier for them to pursue maximum profits at the expense of ordinary people's well-being. Strategic sectors like water, electricity, energy, and transport are under government control, not controlled by a few rich families. And that's one of the reasons many grand infrastructure projects like railways, high-speed roads, ports, dams, and public schools were built. Those projects cost so much effort, and you probably won't see any financial return in a short time. But they tremendously benefit the people and unleash the huge potential.
If you voted for Trump, you are not allowed in Mexico. You are not allowed in Cabos, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Aguascalientes, none of that. Guess what, baby? That's all in Mexico. You don't like us, we don't like you. Don't go there. Stay in your country. Figure it out. Vacation, I don't know, maybe Nebraska perhaps. One of the red states that you love so much. Stay there. Don't have margaritas, don't have tequila, no tacos, no enchiladas, none of that for you. Stick to what you know. Maybe a burger, perhaps. No cheese.
We just got back our gas and electricity bill for this month, and it was $810. Everyone in my area has been saying that their bill has been really expensive this month.
I just want to point out that her bill was $200 last month. Yeah. So it quadrupled. And she's in northern Indiana, and I would put money on her bill being easily over $1,200 next month.
I'm in Japan right now, and every single time that I say that I'm from the United States, people look at me with disdain and disgust, and I have to explain myself every fucking time. I've been to Europe, the same fucking thing applies. It is embarrassing at this point. I have no words for it anymore. It's just disgusting and embarrassing. I have no fucking words.
People really don't think that we are proud to live in our country, and that's just because the media is loud.
That we're vulgar and dark and mean, and that's what the world, I think, thinks about us, but we're not.
That we're all like Southern, like Texas. Like, I feel like people like think of Texas when they think of America. America's like a lot more diverse than like you kind of see from the outside.
That we're all full of discourse or hate. We're not.
That we're all not united, and we all need to get along.
There's a lot more love and understanding and acceptance and kindness than you hear in the news.
We're open and loving and wonderful people.
We love people.
Yeah.
A lot of people in other countries kind of see it as that we're not really like proud of our country, and I really want that to be known that we are, for the most part.
I was in Paris for the last few days, and they just genuinely hate us. Like, I told a few people who said, like, where are you from? American. And they literally just wanted to smack me in the face. They were like, are you a bad person? And I was like, I was like, no. They were like, do you like Trump? I was like, no, but it was a vicious hatred. I had one conversation with this guy late night, and he was like, "You are the leader of the free world. You are not setting a good example." And it's like, when a French dude says it, I just want to disagree. I'm like, I agree with you, but it was tough. It was tough.
What was the cause of the Civil War, the U.S. Civil War in the 1800s?
What was the cause of the Civil War?
What do you think the cause of the Civil War was?
I don't know.
What would you say is the cause of the Civil War?
The Civil War? What caused the Civil War?
I'm really confused at why I keep finding MAGA followers on my page. My page is to help people escape the USA. Let me be clear, MAGA. You need to stay in the United States. You voted for this outcome. You cheered for Trump. You demanded this chaos. Now you get to live with it. Most people in the world disagree with you and do not want to see you. The anti-American sentiment that's growing is not aimed at every American. It's aimed at you, at the people who supported the guy who wrecked alliances, praised dictators, pulled out of climate agreements, and made the U.S. look like a circus on the global stage. So when you think you can just pack a bag and move somewhere else to get away from the downfall of the USA, nope. Other countries have been watching you and your party. They saw the rallies, the chants, the hate that you enabled, and they do not want that hate exported into their communities. You voted for isolation. You voted for division. You voted for a man who promised walls. My page is for the people you voted against. So don't follow me and stay in your burning country that you created.
I didn't realize how loud and obnoxious Americans were until you travel abroad. Yeah, like from birth, we're taught you are an individual and you are unique. You are the best you there has ever been. You are the best version of you. And here's the deal, kids. You're not that unique. You're another person whose parents raw dogged and you're just trying to get through this shit show called life like the rest of us. You're probably the worst version of you and you could do it 1,000,000 times better by shutting the fuck up and quit screaming at the restaurant table. How about that? How about quit telling everybody how unique they are? I don't think that's helpful. I think it's damaging.
Barack Obama's, they expanded Medicaid to young, healthy adults. And so what the House has done, which I've been advocating for a long time, is if you're a young, healthy adult, you should be working and you shouldn't be getting Medicaid and sitting at home just getting a government check.
This is a PSA for the MAGAs. If you are planning to vacation abroad, especially to Europe, don't do it. Don't do it. They don't want you there. And if you do it, please wear your MAGA hat and take videos. I want to know what happens. Now, the reason that I'm telling you this is because I was on a phone call with my daughter who moved to Finland last week. I was talking to my daughter. She just finished brunch and she was walking outside with her husband. Clearly, by their English dialect, they are Americans, right? This man approached her husband asking if he was American and where he's from. Now, her husband said, they're from Florida, which is clearly the wrong answer because everybody in the whole wide world knows how special, and not in a good way, Florida is. That man started yelling, and I heard him on the phone. He was like, fuck Donald Trump, fuck Donald Trump, fuck Donald Trump. Finally, my daughter said, yeah, fuck him, fuck him. That was the way she got that man to shut up. Then her husband, who is Chilean, said, hey, I speak Spanish. I'm from Chile. Really, I'm originally from Chile. Dude, you should have said that in the beginning because didn't I tell you that if you're Latino, you need to use that card? Now, my daughter was able to calm down the guy because she agrees with his statement. And you got to understand that these Europeans are able to voice their opinion because what Donald Trump is doing is affecting the whole wide world. This war didn't need to happen. This was a choice and he definitely chose wrong. So I'm definitely going to allow him to have his voice. So when I go over there to Finland in about a month, I'm hoping I can get people on camera to tell you exactly what I'm saying right now to you, that they don't want you over there and that they believe he's the worst president ever. Anyway, you guys have a blessed day.
Hey. Yes, I just found out that I'm like dying.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, I need to get this surgery, or I'm gonna die.
Yeah. No. Totally.
So can I get that?
Yeah. And how much did you work this month?
How much? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we just made a new rule that like if you want to deserve to like live, you need to be working 80 hours per month and like report that on our portal.
Why?
We're just trying to make sure that people aren't like taking advantage of our system. You know, like there's all these like able-bodied young men who aren't getting jobs. They're just like sitting on their couches playing video games. You know, like these like able-bodied.
After we finish defeating Iran, which is being very badly defeated, pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States.
People don't hate us because they ain't us. They hate us because we go around the world dropping bombs on them and acting like a bully. Because if you're actually worried about U.S. national security, you should be a lot less worried about Greenland and immigrants and a lot more worried about how Trump's words and actions are causing people all around the world to radicalize against Americans. And with good reason. When the President of the United States is openly discussing invading and stealing a foreign country, not because they committed an act of war against us or because we have any territorial claim to that land, but because he wants it. When they go in and kidnap a foreign leader, no matter how hated, and when he makes no secret of the fact that his interest in those countries is to plunder their natural resources, why would anyone like us? And I'm not even talking about governments here. I'm talking about individuals and individuals that form groups, especially when they see that their governments and institutions aren't doing enough to condemn and stop the United States of America. There are Americans who get this and Americans who don't. And to the ones who don't, you need to wake the F up and realize he's the one causing anti-American sentiment to go through the roof.
I don't have a Bible. I'm a Catholic.
Yes, you do. You still have a Bible.
No, we do not. You are wrong. I believe in Catholicism, not the Bible.
Yeah, I don't know why he says no Bible.
We have our own Bible.
Okay.
Or not Bible. We have our own book that has Gospels in it. But they're not from the Bible. They're from the Catholicism.
Trump is being protested all over the world. MAGA in Europe means make America go away. Europe is also wondering, where are all the adults in the USA? And this sign, it's my favorite. It's fucking brilliant. The USA already has too much ice. Those are some of my favorite signs from a massive protest that took place at the US Embassy in Copenhagen, Denmark over the weekend, because Europe is fucking pissed. And today, Sunday, January 18th, the EU is meeting in an emergency capacity to try to figure out how they are going to respond to Trump's latest tantrum, where he's threatening to impose tariffs if they don't give him Greenland. And watching the people protest in Denmark and in Minneapolis, I think the real lesson here is that winter people are not to be trifled with. And look, I'm a Midwesterner. I grew up near Chicago, et maintenant j'ai un pied à terre à Quebec, so j'aime l'hiver. I like winter, but I cannot winter like these people can winter. Look at the Danes and the Greenlanders looking downright cozy while they are protesting. They're not cold at all. And look at the Minnesotans. They are building protest sleds. They are out singing to ice. They are bundled up, and this cold is not deterring them at all. It reminds me of something a friend of mine said years ago. It was brilliant, and I've never forgotten it. They said, there's no bad weather, there's only bad clothing. And I'm keeping that in mind because we're going to be protesting for the long haul, y'all, and we cannot wait for nice weather to do it. So gotta up the gear.
That moment when you go into a Northern Ireland bar and are immediately accused of being a bad person because you're from the United States.
Well, that's kind of odd. I travel around a bit. I got a couple stamps in the old passport. I've never had anyone assume I'm a bad person just because I'm an American. Luckily, she did a story time and we can find out why.
Gave us our pints, what have you. Then the gentleman said, "Are you American?" And I said, "Yes, we're American." And I'm not lying to you when I say it instantly went from, "Yes, I'm American," to, "Well, who'd you vote for?"
Exactly. I'd ask.
And I kind of was just shocked. I'm like, wow, that was very direct. And I said, we're on vacation. We're trying to get away from all of that. We don't really want to talk about it.
Which means she voted for Trump. I've never met anyone that voted for Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, ever be embarrassed about their vote or forthcoming about it. There's only one group of people that won't tell you who they voted for, which is how you know who they voted for. The absolute audacity to think that you get to vote for Donald Trump, who's starting wars across the world, who is very anti-Palestine when Ireland is extremely pro-Palestine. The audacity to even visit other countries with the way you want people treated in this country. Now, she tried to say, oh, y'all don't know who I voted for. Y'all don't know who I voted for. Well, you didn't delete all your reposts.
Oh, so you really don't care about illegal immigrants being detained by ICE and families being separated? No.
And you're surprised people in other countries don't want you there. The absolute fucking audacity.
Okay, I have a quick story about American food quality and the effects of American food and eating it. So our daughter has been going to a French immersion school for the last 7 years. And so we've gotten to know a lot of the teachers who are usually French teachers coming over here in most cases on a contract. And so we've talked to them about this, and I've heard multiple times from teachers something along the following lines. It's really weird. I came here and I've been eating the exact same diet, exact same food, everything the same. I exercise the same amount and everything. I put on 10 to 15 pounds during the school year. I go back to France in the summer, weight comes off. So this isn't talking about the poison and the health issues and everything, but obviously there's something in our food. They're eating the exact same food, different quality, and it's causing them to just balloon up and bloat and all these other things and gain weight. So my question is, what the hell are they putting in our food that's doing that? Anecdotally, for us as a family, when we have gone over to Europe for like say 3 or 4 weeks and we eat, we drop weight, and we also feel healthier. I mean, just anecdotally, we feel good. And we're on vacation, we're splurging, right? We're having baguettes every day, or pain au chocolat, or whatever it is, like eating pasta in Italy, and saying yes to dessert because we're on vacation, right? So we're not really eating better in that sense, like relative to what we would have here if we did that in America. I don't even want to think what would happen, and we feel good. And, people say, oh, it's the walking. No, we walk a lot here too. 10,000, 20,000 steps a day. So it's not it. So there's just something very wrong with our food supply in America. So for us, a big reason for going overseas is trusting the food. We don't trust the food in America anymore. Absolutely not at all. In fact, it's beyond don't trust. It's absolutely sure that the food is poisoning us and is making us sick. That's where we've gotten. And you'll see lots about that here on TikTok. And I've lived it, anecdotally had that experience and am convinced of it, and have just lost all trust. And it's just very simple. They ban all of the stuff that we allow in our food here. There's something like 3,000 ingredients or something that they don't allow. Like, for example, in the EU, they don't allow these ingredients, and we happily in America put them in our food.
Imagine being proud of your political choice you voted for, and now the same policy. Then living in America and realizing that people in other countries see that choice completely different. Some Trump supporters are now asking. So that can be a serious reality check. It is easy to celebrate. So I want to quickly share my own opinion, because some Maga voters that they travel abroad, they discover that they are not highly welcome in your business. So in my own opinion, that is the bigger story here. Not whether every MAGA voters is actually unwelcome abroad. So that is simply because did my side win? It is the issue is too broad. So the real issue is that American politics doesn't stop an American at borders. When Trump makes major decisions on immigration, tariffs, trade, foreign policy, or Americans' relationship with allies, people around the world pay attention, and some of those people strongly disagree. So when an American travelers identify as MAGA, they may occasionally encounter someone who has a very negative opinion of Trump. But here is the question: are they angry at the person standing in front of them, or are they angry at the policies that person represents? I think that is a huge difference, and that is something both sides need to understand. A Trump supporter doesn't it can feel like they are criticizing doesn't automatically represent every decision Trump makes. I don't think just like someone who voted against Trump is not responsible for every decision made by the Democratic Party. The reason is that people are individual, but political identity can influence how people perceive you. That is the uncomfortable part. Imagine spending years hearing that America is the most powerful and influential country in the world. Then you travel overseas and discover that people are openly criticizing Americans' leadership. You see, that can be surprising, and it can even be frustrating sometimes. But personally, I actually think it is something America should experience, because sometimes you don't understand how your country is viewed until you live it. Let me ask you a question: should Americans care about how people overseas view their president, or should they simply say we voted for him and that is nobody else's business? Personally, I think there is a middle ground. You shouldn't change your political belief just to make foreigners happy. But you also shouldn't ignore international criticism. It multiplies it multiple countries. Or if multiple countries are reacting negatively to a particular American policy, Americans should at least ask why. Maybe they disagree because they misunderstand the policy. Maybe they have legitimate concern. Maybe they simply have different national interests. Either way, understanding the other side doesn't mean surrendering your own position. And that is something I think social media has completely destroyed. Everything becomes a battle.
Maybe they expected one thing.
Trump supporter versus Trump critics. It becomes American versus Europe.
Every Trump voter,
Maga versus everybody else. But real life isn't that simple. You can support Trump and still have a friend overseas who disagree with you.
I don't think
and
that,
as well,
they should be afraid to admit it.
You can oppose Trump and still love American. You can criticize American policy without hating American people. Those things can exist at the same time. And honestly, I think that is the maturity we need. But here is another reality. Not every country hates Trump. There are people overseas who support some of his policy. There are people who dislike him. There are people who simply don't care. So the idea that MAGA voters are universally rejected around the world is exaggerated. So that is my own opinion on that. So if you have your own opinion too, you can drop it down in the comment section below.
This doesn't mean blaming Donald Trump for